Hello class, we're looking at the difference between expressions and equations. Your essential question is, what is the difference between expressions and equations? Learning intentions. I'm learning the difference between an expression and an equation and how to either simplify or solve. You've got 4 warm-up questions, so pause the video and see if you can do the warm-up questions on your own. Well, I hope you paused and I hope you did them. If not, you might need more practice. So as I'm multiplying, I know that 2 will go evenly into 22. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 22 divided by 2 is 11. I know that 3 will go evenly into 15. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 15 divided by 3 is 5. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 11 is 11. So your fraction would be 5 over 11. Do we divide by a fraction? No, we multiply by the reciprocal. So this is equal to 15 over 33 times 11 over 5. Okay, so let's look. I know that 11 will go into 33 evenly. 11 divided by 11 is 1. 33 divided by 11 is 3. I know that 15 is divisible by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 15 divided by 5 is 3. I now have 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 divided by 3 gives me 1. Pretty interesting question, wasn't it? Okay, how do you turn into an improper fraction? You multiply at the diagonal, then you add the top number. Four times 7 is 28, plus 2 more would give me 30. So this would be equal to 30 over 7. Is that the only way to do it? I don't understand. Okay, so if you're still struggling, 4 is equal to what divided by 7? Well, that would be 28. So you can then take 28 over 7, because that is what 4 is equal to, plus 2 over 7, and once again you get 30 over 7. Either way you do it is fine. Just make sure you understand the process. Okay, for the last one we've got compound numbers and we're trying to subtract. First thing you realize is that 5 is greater than 2. So I'm going to be adding the opposites together. I'm actually going to find the difference between the two numbers. First thing I have to do is get that common denominator. I'm looking at 3 over 4 and 5 over 6. Okay, 4 will not divide evenly into 6, but it will divide evenly into 12. 6 plus 6 is 12. So I can put it both as 12ths. What do I multiply 6 by to get 12? Well, I multiply it by 2. I have to do the same thing with the 5, so I get 10 over 12. What do I multiply 4 by to get 12? 3. So this will be 9 over 12. I'm going to find the difference now. 5 and 5/6 is equal to 10 over 12. Minus 2 and 9 over 12. 10 minus 9 is 1. 5 minus 3 minus 2 is 3. So this will be equal to negative 3 and 1/12. Okay, make sure that you're still working on the practice for those compound fractions. Now we're going to look at the difference between an equation and an expression. If you have an expression, you can simplify it there is no equal sign. So anytime you're looking at something, if there's not an equal sign, it is an expression. If you have an equation, you can solve it. Equations can be solved. Expressions can only be simplified. Okay, so circle the equations. What are we looking for if it's an equation? Well, we're looking for the equal sign. If it has an equal sign, it is an equation. If it has an equal sign, it is an equation. Can you identify the last two equations? There they are. These are expressions because there is no equal sign. Okay, to simplify expressions, we are combining like terms. That means anything that has an x in it can be combined. So I've got 2x here, and I've got plus 3x here. Numbers are like terms, so I can combine them. I've got minus 9 plus 10. Now putting it all together, remember, if they have the same base and exponent, they are like terms. 2x plus 3x is 5x. Negative 9 plus 10 is positive 1, so it's 5x plus 1. What happens if we've got parentheses? Order of operations tells us that we deal with those parentheses first. In this case, we have to distribute. Before we can go any further, we have to distribute. So I end up with 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times negative 7 is negative 21 plus 8. What are my like terms? My like terms are the numbers. That's all I can combine. 6x. What is negative 21 plus 8? They're opposite signs, so I find their difference. 21 minus 8, well, if it was 10, it would be 11, 12, 13. So 21 minus 8 is 13. It's going to have to be negative because the 21 is negative. For the last one, we still have to do that distributive. Order of operations tells us we do the parentheses first. Okay, 8x plus 7. That doesn't change. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 8 is 16. What are my x values? I've got two of them. 8x plus 2x. Now, what are my numbers? I've got two of them. Plus 7 plus 16. Put it all together. 8x plus 2x is 10x. 7 plus 16 is 23. And we're done. As you notice, we don't get, if we're simplifying an expression, we do not ever get a single number. Normally. Every once in a while it will happen. Okay, as we get ready to start working on solving equations, there are certain properties you have to remember. There is the addition property of equality. It says that if the numbers are equal and I add them to the same number, then I still have an equal statement. The same thing for subtraction. If the numbers are the same, if I subtract the same number from both of them, it will be the same. With multiplication, you're multiplying by the same number. If A and B are equal, then A times C will equal B times C. Division, in this case, C cannot be equal to 0. If A equals B and C is not equal to 0, then A divided by C will equal B divided by C. So as we start learning to solve equations, we start with a one-step equation. You're doing the opposite of what's happened. You're adding the opposite. X plus 9 equals 21. So I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides. 9 minus 9 is 0. I've gotten rid of it. It's 0. X is equal to 21 minus 9, which is 12. So if we've added, then we do the opposite, which is subtract. If we've subtracted, we do the opposite, which is addition. Negative 15 plus 15 is 0. I've gotten rid of it. A is equal to 25 plus 15 would be 40. We're undoing what's happened to our variable. 2 times some number b is equal to 20. I'm going to divide both sides by 2. b is equal to 10. 2 divided by 2 is 1. When I multiply by 1, nothing happens. I've divided by 6. The opposite would be to multiply by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. That leaves me with 1r. r is equal to 30. You know you're successful when you can simplify expressions and solve equations. So are we going to simplify or solve? Depends on if we have an expression or an equation.